Hi, hello, my name's Ollie Bliss and this is my channel Bookdraw. For those you don't know, I enjoy looking at queer fiction and occasionally I create images out of it. Today I am just doing a really quick introduction to Victober. A lot of people already know about Victober. I only got introduced to it last year, which I was really glad to be a part of last year because with with Victorian reads, I have a tendency to not necessarily be instantly drawn to them and pick them up, but there are a lot of titles which are out there which I'm very aware of, which I think, yeah, you really should get on and read that. And what I like about Victober is it gives you the opportunity to actually consolidate that time and just go, yes, I'm embracing Victorian literature. So that's what I'm intending on doing. Now there's challenges which have been created by the four hosts. So Lucy's challenge is to read an undirected Victorian book published in the same year as your favourite Victorian classic. Ange's challenge is to read a book by a Victorian female author, and there's a bonus if it's one that's new to you, and I was able to do both of these things. Katie's challenge is to read a Victorian book under 200 pages and over 500 pages. So on this one it's a little bit more challenging, but I think I've got them both. And Kate's challenge is to reread a classic Victorian book. Now, I won't actually be doing that one. And that's just because I'm still relatively new to the Victorian fiction selection that is out there. And there's too many good books which I can choose from, which are new to me. So rather than reread one which I've really enjoyed, which would be probably North and South, I only read that last year, so I feel like I need a little bit more time before I get back to that one. But it is definitely a book I would consider rereading. The group challenge is also to read by candlelight. I'm not entirely sure if I'm going to do that one, if I'm totally honest. And they also have a group read, which is The Importance of Being Earnest. I have watched the play of that one and the film several times, and I just feel like I don't necessarily need to concentrate on that particular book for now. So I might not be doing this as a kind of group collective experience, but I am getting involved. So going on to the choices which I have actually made, based on the ones which I didn't get to in my last year's kind of recommendations for myself, I have gone for Jude the Obscure, which is a Tom Hardy book. Now I've never read Tom Hardy before, and I have just literally started listening to this particular book. So far, I'm loving the kind of naive and innocent voice which is coming through in the lead character, Jude. There's something really quite special and kind of introverted about this particular character, so I'm really looking forward to the way that that develops. The next book which I'm choosing is Middlemarch, which is by George Eliot. And this is kind of through a recommendation from Juan the Bookish Islander. Because when he was announcing that particular book, I was like, oh, okay, I've not actually come across this one. I'm going to give it a bit of research. And so I have claimed it from my local library towards the end of the month. My third choice is Jane Eyre, which is a Charlotte Brontë book. Now, I've never actually read a Brontë, which I feel pretty bad for, having lived up in the north for as long as I have. I'm coming down now to the Midlands and kind of like, yeah, I never took advantage of that. But Jane Eyre is one of those books which I have heard about so often and so frequently by other people that I feel like I'm already kind of aware of what the story is. But I honestly, if I was to tell anybody about it, I'd be like, about Jane Eyre. So I feel like it's one of those books which I really should have read by now. And also it hits on a couple of the targets within the challenges. So I'm looking forward to reading that one, and I think it's quite a bit of a chunkster, so it'll be good to get into. And then finally, the last one which I'm choosing is Yellow Book with Prince Alberic and the Snake Lady, which is by Vernon. Now this is one of the books which I wanted to choose last year because it relates to queer fiction in terms of Vernon as a person, and also the actual the story itself, and it also, because it's a short story, it hits the challenge in terms of being under 200 pages. So I feel like I really should prioritize that one, and also because it's available as a PDF online, which I'll link down in the description below. I will also add links to all the channels which are involved in hosting this so that you can get more of a feeling for what Victober is also all about. Anyway, that's enough from me for now. I just wanted to update you with these choices that I've made, and I will be back again with you real soon. Okay, take care. Bye.